Thanks for checking out this horror debate series video. So if you're new to this, I want to say off the bat, go ahead, finish my video, get my pick for what I think is the worst PG-13 horror movie ever made. Then go over to your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete's channel, which is linked in my description, and watch his video all the way through. Then if you want to, you don't have to, you can vote on who you thought had the best justifications for their pick. So you can come back to my channel in that case, go to the community tab and vote there where you can pick between me and him, or you can also say that you believe it was a tie. Because we had so many people who were saying, I just can't decide, I think you both did an amazing job, so it's a tie. And in that instance, I think it's awesome because for us to both, put a person in that situation where they're just like, they're both so good at this, makes us both feel wonderful. But voting's fun. If you want to do that, awesome. Also, I'm going to make a call. Please, 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 if you like any of the content that I put out, if you like any of the content that your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete puts out, please subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to repay us for this free content that we're putting out there. Also, hit the notification bell button because then you'll know when we're putting out new videos, which he's doing 2 a week. I'm doing 3 a week at this point. And I also have been doing some shorts, so sometimes it's more than that in certain weeks. It's kind of random when I'm putting out shorts. But anyway, let me jump into talking about my pick for the worst PG-13 horror movie. This one I felt was an easy pick for me. And once I picked it, I believe Uncle Pete was like, oh man, I can't believe you got that one. That's not fair. Troll 2. Which, I was going to say coincidentally, but not really coincidentally, has nothing to do with the first Troll movie. And if you've never seen the first Troll movie, it's actually not a bad movie. It's just Troll 2 in name. And I actually do have the DVD that's like the 2-pack of Troll and Troll 2. Obviously, Troll 2 is a lot more fun to watch because it's just such a terrible movie that it is amazing. So I could see where some people would make the argument that choosing it as the worst PG-13 movie isn't actually accurate because there is still a lot of enjoyment to pull from it because it is so bad. But I'm just going off of it is so terrible, and that doesn't matter, that it increases the enjoyment for the purpose of this debate. So, Troll 2, let me give you my reasons for choosing it. The acting is some of the worst you've ever seen. I think that every single person who's ever seen Troll 2 can agree it is horrendous acting. There isn't a single actor in that movie that does a good job, in my opinion. And not only is it just bad acting, but the writing is so bad, and the characters are written so bad, and the dialogue is written so poorly that even if the actors are good at what they do, they can't breathe a whole lot of life into that. So it's this amalgamation of just like terrible writing in general, terrible character creation, terrible dialogue, terrible acting that just barfs terrible onto the screen for you. And yes, it ends up being a lot of fun, thankfully. I do love it. And this is reminding me, it's been quite a while since I've watched Troll 2. I need to do a rewatch. The story concept was terrible from the start. The premise of trolls, which are actually goblins, in the town Nilbog, just goblin written back. I mean, please, it's ridiculous. Just the first time anyone watches this movie and they're like, the town of Nilbog, and nobody gets almost immediately that it's goblin spelled backwards. Come on. Also, on top of that, then you realize that and you're like, wait a minute, this is called Troll 2. Why are there goblins in Troll 2? Further exemplifies how terrible this movie is, and the concept was garbage from the get-go. Also, the fact that these goblins don't just eat people, they have to turn them into vegetation and then eat them, which I think was probably a way to get away from doing fake red blood to kind of get like a better rating. But still, from a story standpoint, it does not work. Who was your audience here? I don't understand. Most people just wanted them to just kill and eat people, not turn them into vegetation first. But, we got what we got, and I'm actually thankful for it. There are so many random odd scenes in this movie. I think everyone who's watched it will agree. There are a lot of random odd scenes in this movie. Prime example, the sexualized corn scene, where the woman who's kind of at the heart of all the bad stuff going on goes out to the camper that this one guy is in, and she has corn with her, and she's like dressed very sexy. She's in lingerie, and she has corn with her, and she's sexualizing the corn. I've never in my life seen a scene in a movie where corn is sexualized other than this one. And to be honest, from a so bad it's good standpoint, the movie's better for it. But and then the fact that like it turns into popcorn at some point, and the insinuation is it got so steamy and hot that it just heated it up and did that, or the guy finished. That's another insinuation there. But yeah, sexualized corn. Who thought? It's called Troll 2, and the bad guys are goblins. They're also horribly costumed. I already talked about the whole goblin versus troll thing, but the costuming on these guys, pretty bad. Obviously, they got little people to play those characters, which, you know, totally good because these people need work as well in the industry, so that's awesome. The costuming is so bad. It's just, it kind of looks like they're maybe just wearing like modified burlap sacks, and then like their weapons are just kind of like sticks with like prongs coming off the end of them, and then they like their faces look so obviously fake. Their mouths don't even really move. They just look empty. Like you just you don't really see eyes or anything. It's a mess. It's really, really terrible. Next point. There's literally a documentary about it called Best Worst Movie, and it's very much accurate. One of the most interesting things I think about this documentary is the fact it's done by the guy who played the little boy in the movie, who's, you know, the main family that's focused on, that's him. So he becomes aware over time that this movie is so bad. I think he knew immediately when he made the movie it was bad, but he then finds out that it's gotten this cult following because it is so bad. So he set about doing this documentary about A, how bad the movie was, and B, how it's gained this cult following because of how bad it is. And it's a really good documentary. If you've never seen Best Worst Movie, you should definitely see it, especially if you've seen Troll 2. And if you haven't seen either of these, well then go watch Troll 2, then watch Best Worst Movie, and you'll thank me. But one of the most interesting things from the documentary is the fact that the guy who directed it still defends it as saying that it's a legitimately good movie. And that's hilarious to me. And I think this kind of goes further into the whole point of why it's a great pick for the worst. Because it wasn't made tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't made and the director said, yeah, you know, this wasn't my best effort, or this is actually bad and I messed up, or I intentionally made it bad. He still thinks it was a great movie, but all of us seeing it know otherwise. So there you go. But that documentary, I mean, it's a win for me in my opinion, just the fact that there's a documentary called Best Worst Movie and it's about Troll 2. I'm just saying that. Then my last point, it's acknowledged by almost everyone that this movie is horribly done, even people who were involved with it. Like I said, the guy who made the documentary. So think about anyone you've ever talked to, yourself. I don't think anyone's actually legitimately watched the movie and been like, that's a well done movie. Every component of the movie is bad. And we're all better for it, to be honest, just because of the gift of so bad it's goodness that we've been given because of it. But obviously you can see my very strong point as to why Troll 2 is the worst PG-13 horror movie ever made. At first I was trying to make a decision. There are some really bad PG-13 horror movies out there. And then I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Is Troll 2 PG-13? Because I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I was like, please say it is. Looked it up on IMDb. Sure enough, says PG-13. And I'm like, this is a lock. And like I said, I messaged Uncle Pete and he was like, I kind of feel like this isn't even fair. Because yeah, that's a wonderful pick. So there you go. You got all my reasons for why Troll 2 is the worst PG-13 horror movie. Go ahead and check out Uncle Pete's channel. And then, like I said, you can come back here and go to the community tab and vote. Again, subscribe to our channels if you like this video or any video you've ever seen, or maybe not even just mine, maybe just Uncle Pete's. If you like just Uncle Pete's or any Uncle Pete video, subscribe to his channel and subscribe to my channel because we're buddies. We actually legitimately are. We're very good friends. He's a great guy. So check out both our channels, subscribe to both our channels, hit the notification bell buttons, all that stuff. And thank you so much for being involved with these and watching them. We really do appreciate that. Oh, also put comments on both of our videos. We love to read the comments. But thank you so much. And until next time, keep it brutal.